The goal of this video is for you to understand why we do what we do here at Springboard, what our assessment process is all about, as well as to understand what it would be like to book an appointment with us.
One of the most important questions that we ask our clients in an assessment is, what are your strengths? And that means sometimes, what were your strengths? Or what do you like doing? Or what are you passionate about? Or when did you used to be passionate about? We really want to work with our clients to help figure out, what gets them ticking, what gets them excited, so that can help us move forward with the process. For us, it's not just about diagnosing. It's really about helping an individual go to where they want to go in life. And that means finding their strengths too. That means looking at their passions and finding that spirit, because that can be a great motivator. So throughout the process, we don't just look for what your struggles are, what your challenges are, but we also want to spend the time to explore what you're good at and where you want to go, because that will make a huge difference in the long run.
Working in the field of ADHD really allows me to meet with extremely resilient people who have often had struggles along the way, but have been extremely resilient in handling them. And it's a real honor to be able to witness further change and to support further change in their lives.
As you're listening to this video, you may be feeling apprehensive about learning more about your needs, maybe your impairment. The goal of Springboard Clinic is to utilize the best resources we can assemble under one roof in order to help you understand a mental health diagnosis that maybe you are ready now to gain more awareness of.
ADHD it's a scary idea, and a lot of people are hesitant to label their child with a word like ADHD, and what is that going to mean for them for the future and for school. And actually, it can be really helpful to give them a title for all the things that are giving them a hard time at school, and sometimes causing them a lot of issues with their self-esteem and friendships. And the point of this assessment is to even understand what's happening with your child. Why are they not achieving their potential? Is it ADHD? Is it anxiety? Is it bullies at school? What's happening? And if it is ADHD, what are all the ways that we can help your child to work with it and achieve their potential?
So basically, the assessment takes place over 2 appointments. The first appointment is somewhere between 3 and 4 hours, and the second appointment is about an hour and a half in length. During your first appointment, that's when the assessment's going to happen, and at that time you're going to meet with a variety of clinicians, each who have their own expertise within the assessment. After that, when you come in for the results feedback, you're going to meet directly with our psychologist, who will provide you with the results of your assessment.
Our assessment process is therapeutic and helpful and comprehensive. By working closely with our medical team, our psychiatrists, our pediatricians, we aim to understand you as well as we can from many different angles, figuring out all those layers that make up you to help figure out those possible next steps and help you reach your goals. Our assessment process is very unique. We will ask you about your thoughts, your feelings. Typically what brings clients to us are focusing issues. Sometimes it's feeling sad or feeling worried. Sometimes it's difficulties at work or relationships. Self-esteem is often impacted for our clients. So we'll ask you about all those pieces, and then we'll figure out how it really gets in your way, how it impacts your life, how it stands between you and your goals. Where is it that you'd like to get to?
The assessment process with a psychiatrist really focuses on many different areas. First and foremost is the context, so the individual's context. It's really important for me to understand who he or she is and the environment in which he or she is functioning. I try to look at strengths and also areas that have been difficult as well for the individual. I really try to take a medical lens as well. It's important for me to focus on family medical history, on whether the individual has struggled with mood difficulties or anxiety. And often we do find that these areas are related to attentional concerns as well. So all of it is important in their treatment.
Once we run out of all the questions and the assessment process is over, you get to leave. Your assessment team gets together and put all the information together. So we put together all the interviews, the questionnaires, all the information we've learned about you. Then when you come back for the feedback appointment, you will meet with a clinician. We share with you what we've learned about you, how it all fits together. It's very much a collaborative process. We work with you to help you understand all those pieces, how they all work together. And then we also talk about those possible next steps. What can be done to make things a little bit easier, a little bit happier.
Our assessment offers a complete solution. With our interviews and our questionnaires, we really try and customize where the person's at. So a really common question that we get asked is, should I have an assessment if I already know I have ADHD? And one of the main things that Springboard does a great job with is helping people understand what their life is like now and how to prioritize where they want to see change. So even if you had an assessment done and confirmed ADHD when you were 7, now that you're 25, now that you're 30, it might be showing up in a very different way. So what we talk about at Results is how things are for you now and how we can get you moving in the direction that you want to go in and how to improve the areas that are important for you. We might be experts from a diagnostic perspective, but when it comes to figuring out change and getting you there, that's when we try and personalize those results. Our reports are well written, but they have lots of visuals and they're intended to be user-friendly and reader-friendly because there might be actually more than one person reading that report. Our number one is the client, but we also want to ensure that our clients go through our assessment process and have the right documentation they need for the next step, whatever that might be, whether it's accommodations or whether it's a letter summarizing some information that they need to send to another doctor or someone else.
When we began designing the Springboard Clinic assessment for ADHD, we really wanted to create an assessment that would feel client-centered, focus on their strengths, and really help them move forward.
So it's wonderful when clients come back and they've found through the assessment process that they have a better understanding of their life and their symptoms, and they're full of hope about what they can accomplish next in life. And it's also great that seeing them in follow-up, patients do really well.
Here at Springboard Clinic, we often see clients that have already a diagnosis of ADHD, but there's an opportunity to get a better understanding of what that diagnosis means to you by utilizing the half-day assessment process that involves a medical individual, a psychologist, and a coach therapist. The combined, we hope, wisdom will make it easier to get a snapshot of where you are now. What treatment are you receiving? Are there changes that can be made to make your life easier? We offer support that includes all kinds of interventions, and that is why at the end of the assessment, you are part of the process in moving forward. Our recommendations are only supported by your understanding of them and the feedback we get from you as an individual. We're in this together.
I'm a medical doctor on the team, which means that my focus includes medication, but that's not always the main focus for each client. My role will sometimes include presenting medications as an option and talking about how benefits could unfold from that. When starting medication, it's also really important to think about context and what change we're trying to create in the individual's environment. So that's why it's really important for me to collaborate with the other members of the team as well as the client himself or herself.
During the assessment, what we're trying to do is figure out what's happening. And if, as a group, we feel that ADHD is the right diagnosis, then often I will recommend medication as part of the treatment plan. In terms of medication, it's a scary idea for most parents, and nobody wants to drug their kid or use it to fix them, and that's not the idea at all. For some kids, medication is the appropriate treatment, and it can make a big difference to their life. And so what I would say to parents is, come and talk about it. Let's have a conversation about if it's even appropriate for your child or not, what are the real side effects, risks, and benefits. But it can be a really helpful part of their treatment plan.
When starting medication, this really occurs after the assessment process. And my job is to follow a client through that process. And then once they feel that their treatment is optimized, to transfer back to a family physician who's often treated that individual before their assessment here.
With the knowledge you now have about our process, if you wish to move forward with a physical booking, the best way to do this is over the phone. During the call, we will book the physical appointment, so we'll book you in for your assessment, we'll book you in for the results feedback appointment. We're also going to want to take down a variety of your information, so things like your name, your birthday, your health card number. We're going to want to take down the name of your family doctor so we can seek a referral. So details like that, your email, cell phone. Next, we'll need to take down a credit card number, as we do also require a deposit as part of the assessment process. We'll also send out an email summarizing your appointment dates and times, which will also include a variety of questionnaires that we'll have you complete as part of your assessment process. Within this email, you'll also find a variety of information that outlines our fees as well as information about insurance. Of note, our services are fully eligible for insurance reimbursement if you have coverage for a registered psychologist or registered psychological associate.